Welcome, welcome, one and all. Winter Wizard here, and in this video I'm going to be showing you exactly how Garglerot here got his claw. Alright, thank you very much for joining me today, whoever you are, and welcome to this little conversion tutorial video of mine. So I've got a model here. This is Garglerot Deep, Swallower of Filth, Bringer of the Rotten Tide, and Drowned Demon Prince of Nurgle. That's right, he might look large, but in games I use him as a Demon Prince. But it is strictly speaking, a Great Unclean One model with the Rotigus head and arm there. And as you can see, he has a crab claw for a hand. So in this video I'm going to be showing you exactly how I've managed to convert a very real crab claw to be one of the malefic talons on this this bloated, overgrown Demon Prince of Nurgle here. I'm going to zoom in a minute and give you a really good look at that crab claw, but I just thought I'd give you a bit of a background information of what's going on here. So Garglerot Deep, he is the warlord of my Death Guard army, the Drowned Plague. It's a Death Guard army with a very deep sea nautical colour scheme and sort of play style to the faction as well. And the Great Unclean One, Rotigus sculpt specifically, is my favourite sculpt that Games Workshop have ever done, really is. And I just knew that somehow I needed to get it into the army, and I wanted to give him a really unique feature. Something specific just to him, playing with a sort of nautical style as well. And so we came up with an idea of doing a crab claw, and I didn't know if it would work, but I had a go, and I'm over the moon with the final result. So I'm going to share that with you. I'm going to show you exactly how I've done it. It's cold and lonely here in Winter Wizard's Frozen Fortress, but it's about mid-afternoon. I've got a nice cup of tea over there, and Dimmu, my Norwegian troll, he joins me as always. So this is going to be nice. It's going to be relaxed. Just going to talk you through the process of how we did this crazy little venture of mine, and we'll see what you think. Here we are. So first of all, I just thought I'd zoom in and give you a really good close-up look at this, what's going on here. It's lovely little crabby claw that he's got going on. I'll Garglerot, spin that round for you. Yeah, that's the job right there. So you can see it will come off as well, like so. The magnets in there, and in there as well. There it is. So yeah, that just pops on like that, nice and sturdy, doesn't come off. So I'm going to break this down for you. We'll get into the meat of this and show you, try and explain just exactly how I've done this. So the very first step was to actually get a hold of some crab claws. So we went and found a fishmonger's, Bristol Fish Limited, if you really want to know. And we bought a box of brown crab claws. So the second step in the process, once we'd got the crab claws home, was to choose one that we thought suitable for the task in hand. So I wanted to pick one that the size and the shape would complement the rest of the scale of the figure, and also the join on his wrist here compared to the opening of the claw, the join of the claw there. So whichever one we thought would suit that nicely. This one seemed to be a really good size, and I liked the shape, so we went for this one. So we'd chosen our claw, and I'd eaten the rest, and now it's time to give this thing to gut it and clean it. So using any kind of tools, some sort of metal object or a cocktail stick or jets of water, managed to scoop out as much meat as we possibly could, and followed by giving it a seriously thorough wash with hot water and very liquid. And the beauty of these crab claws is they had already been cooked. I bought them cooked, so I wasn't too worried about any raw meat or anything like that. Just a really thorough clean, hot water, very liquid. You could maybe use some bleach, but I didn't. And that seemed to do the trick. But yeah, so the claw would then fully cleared of meat and given a really good wash, and then the next step was to basically fill it and stuff it and give it a really strong structure. The way we did that was with some plaster of Paris. You mix it up, and then we poured it inside. Works that all the way down into the tips of the claws. These were hollow as well, and just filled the entire thing with plaster of Paris right up to about the ridge here. We sort of left this bit clear from about there, about half a centimetre, just anticipating the fact that we were going to be filling this with some green stuff and some magnets. Now that then moves us on to the next step, which is the green stuff and magnets. So we bought some magnets from eBay. You can buy them, these really strong little hobby magnets. Sorry, I really don't remember exactly what the size of these was, but they were also quite thick, maybe about down to here. I wanted them to be really nice and strong. So we bought a bunch of those. We put 2 in here just to give it a really solid join and to stop it from being able to twist around too much as well. And so once the plaster of Paris had fully dried, we'd stuff this with some green stuff. If you don't know what green stuff is, it's you buy it like so. It's a really common tool for hobbying and crafting. It's yellow and blue, and then you break some off. When you mix it together, it turns green, and you can mould it into a shape. Leave it for several hours and it will dry solid as a rock. So we filled this with some green stuff, put a couple of magnets in there, made sure it was nice and flush, and we left that to dry. Garglerot's arm now, a similar process was actually happening over here at the time. When you make this model, it comes with various hand options, so that made the hands join very simple indeed. We just left off the hand, and then it was a similar case of filling this hollow mould with as much green stuff as we could, very carefully building it up over time, being very patient and building that, because it was completely hollow in this arm, you see, so we built the mould up. I didn't feel like filling this with plaster of Paris, as this whole model is hollow. The liquid would have filled everywhere, and I'm not really sure how it would react with the plastic, as well as that stuff gets very hot. Which is a good point. If you are using plaster of Paris, always follow the guidelines, read the instructions, and just be careful. But so we filled this with green stuff as well. We built up the mould, and we stuck a couple of those magnets in here as well. It's worth mentioning that the green stuff does not go on top of the magnets, so they're nice and clear, nice and clean on there and the claw, so they touch each other together nicely. So the tricky bit was getting the 2 magnets, the 4 magnets flushed together in the right shape, and that just took a little bit of fiddling and again a lot of patience. And then when I was happy with the position, I managed to just slide this off. This one had already been fully dry, so it's just this one we were working with. We managed to slide it off once the magnets were right in place, and a lot of patience, a lot of manipulating, just getting them to sit nice and flush. And then once that had fully dried, we filled some green stuff around the wrist here, around the rest of the mould. You can see where it comes up to the tentacles here, and so we've moulded all the way around here, all the way around the edge there, all the way around the side. And this is the really important bit. As that join was drying, but starting to feel pretty firm, what we did, we took the crab claw and we sat it on with the magnets, and we squished it together, nice and gently, but just enough. And we squished it so that the green stuff would mould to the shape of the claw that was sitting on it. And we squished it around with our fingers, and we just made that nice and secure, nice and flush, so when you look at the claw itself there are no gaps, and it seems to sit completely flush. And then once we were happy with that, take it off again nice and gently and let that perfectly dry. Do not touch it. So once all the moulding and the green stuff had fully dry, it was time to paint these two things. So we painted all around the wrist of Garglerot there and blended that in with the rest of the colour scheme. And the claw itself, primed it with spray like we would any model, and painted it to match in the rest of the colour scheme. It was a few base colours and a series of washes, and the way I like to do my bones effects here as well. And a bit of blood spatter on there for good measure as well. So we give this a few good layers of paint, build that up nice and strong, being patient, and then it's on to the possibly the most important phase next. So yeah, maybe you're wondering, well, Winter Wizard, what about the smell? And yep, I know what you're talking about. That crabby fishy smell, it took ages for it to go. And but the best technique for getting rid of that was, apart from making sure that it was fully clean and completely sealed fully with plaster of Paris, so no air gaps or anything like that, was to varnish it with a matte varnish. As you can see, it is quite shiny anyway. Some Vallejo matte varnish, pretty cheap this stuff and really good. I would certainly recommend it. And I think I probably put a film on or something like that and just had this on the desk and did a layer of varnish, let it dry, did a layer of varnish, let it dry, did a layer of varnish, let it dry, and repeated that over and over again, getting in all the little gaps all over here, everywhere. And I promise you that you could stick this right next to your nose and it doesn't smell at all. And there we have it then. So that was the final result, the crab claw there. It was, not going to lie, a very daunting task indeed, but I really wanted to give it a go. The sort of inspiration for this came from Davy Jones from Pirates of the Caribbean. I just really wanted to do something really unique, playing in with the nautical theme of the rest of the army, and I think it really works, so I'm over the moon with the result. And I just want to say to people, if you've got a crazy idea in mind, don't be afraid, have a go. What's the worst that could happen? A few fishy smells maybe, but you'll probably surprise yourself. There we have it then. So that was my conversion video for a demon crab claw. That's an insight into exactly how Garglerot here got his claw. Hope you've enjoyed the video today. If you have, then a like and a comment would be very, very much appreciated. And if you'd like to see more of what goes on here inside the Frozen Fortress, then perhaps you'll also consider becoming a subscriber. Keep an eye out for some more disgusting conversion videos coming up. We've got my Demon Prince, Grime. I'm going to show you how he got his wings, and I'll probably be doing a video for the heavy rusty chains that you see here as well, and another video for some tentacle slime. Once again, whoever you are, thank you very, very much for joining me today. I'm Winter Wizard, that's Dimmu, and for now, keep it frosty.